Where is the record button? Oh, there. So Tallie, why did we do this podcast?
We did this podcast so that like-minded individuals like us. Am I trying to kid? No, we did this podcast because why not? We just wanted to talk about stuff. You know. Why do you think we did it?
That's completely not the correct answer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We did it, or it was my idea.
It was because I'm.
Anyway, we did it because I did it because I'd recorded some stuff with another friend who is not here because of his.
You have other friends apart from me.
Because of his lack of certain characteristics that would be beneficial to this genre.
Thank you. I don't take that as a compliment.
And the fact that he would want to do the editing, and the fact that he takes ages to do that, and of anything else we recorded, I think he lost the audio files. So I was like, just do it yourself. So I pulled this man off the street, and here we are today.
I was sleeping rough outside his house.
Say something productive. Hello, Tallie.
Hi, Joe. Welcome to the. I haven't actually thought of a name yet.
Welcome to this thing. It will be named at some point, and unlike that Dave show with Alan Davis in it, will actually get a name. It's not going to be the as yet untitled podcast, except for now when it is actually.
That
untitled.
could actually work. The as of yet untitled podcast.
No, it's because Dave have probably copyrighted it.
Oh, I see. It's already a thing.
Yeah.
What a shame. That was actually quite good.
That's why they've already thought of it.
Alan Davis is the one on them.
It's got 6 series.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
Alright, 5 series.
Right, we're suing them. Count to sue. We thought of it first. Oh dear. Yeah, so it's I'm Tallie Essen. Tallie, or just the fat cunt, whatever.
Keep it family friendly.
Oh yeah, you can bleep that one out later with my laugh, just like.
You think I know how to bleep?
And you are?
I'm Joe. I'm his probation officer.
Yeah.
It also works that these things generally work better with 2 people.
Yeah.
I've found that having a conversation with one person is generally quite difficult. So luckily, Tallie has a probation officer.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, so on today's episode,
what are you going to be talking about?
Well, I've got a few topics that we could go
that's
over.
good. I don't.
There's of course abandoned buildings. That's a good passion. And
is it a good passion or is it a passion?
That's yeah, okay. Fair point.
That's a literal guilty pleasure.
Yeah. And the M Cave, which is a internet. Well, it's not really an internet mystery. Internet mystery. It's just a mystery. And what are you talking about?
You think I know? I will be talking about a number of currently undisclosed topics.
We have lunchtime. I think that might.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We even know it's currently 14:23 local time.
2:23, 21 hours. That's not Joe.
or anyone who just missed how 24-hour time works
in primary school.
In primary school. Yeah. Did they even teach it in primary school?
I don't know.
I feel like I should. It's something you should know that they don't teach you.
Yeah, it's probably one of them. Like
kind of like tying your shoelaces.
Yeah.
You just have to work that out for yourself.
Somehow, I tie my shoelaces really weirdly, right? And
you say that, but we have no shoes here today.
Okay, hang on.
Even
Imagine
though it's a podcast.
My shoe is on my foot right there. Ow. That could be the thumbnail. Just
hang on. I'm just gonna steal Mike's shoes.
Alright. Mike, hand them over. Thank you.
They're very smart shoes, Mike. Well done.
So,
he's clearly trying to turn his life around.
Yeah. Jesus, Mike.
Mike has big feet.
You know what they say? Big feet, big socks. I don't know what you do. Family friendly. Yeah, so I do two little like loop. Yeah, okay. And then I put them under like a knot. And okay, well I mucked up on this one, but that's how I do them.
To anyone who doesn't yet know how to tie your shoelaces, what you do?
Put your foot in the shoe. That would be helpful.
Right.
Oh, this is suddenly turned so weird. Okay.
Right, what you do? You put your shoe in the foot.
It's turned into some how-to video. How to tie shoelaces.
Just gets a hammer.
For anyone that's listening, currently Joe
still can't.
Is yeah. Currently, anyone that's listening to this, Joe is currently struggling to put a shoe on, and
it's because my feet aren't as tiny as Mike's.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Your feet are so small. Shush, no one will notice that I just said he has big feet. Right, yeah. So you put your feet in the shoe.
He's currently tying them up.
Yeah, you make them really tight so that all the circulation is cut off. Then you kind of cross them. Why am I doing this?
I don't know.
What you do? Yeah. You do them like this.
Joe is currently tying them the way that my parents tie it, where you put one little loop.
I think everyone ties it this way.
Exactly. Everyone, you put one little loop, you wrap the other one round, and then somehow tie it up.
Yeah,
job done. 2 little loops out of each lace, and then tie them as a knot, and then pull that tight, obviously. But no one taught me how to do that, so I don't know how I've learned this means of tying shoes, but somehow I have, and I don't know how. I can remember the first time I tied my shoelaces as well.
Thanks for your shoe, Mike. Great help.
Mike, you can have it back now.
Yeah, cheers, Mike.
That was
great lad.
Slapping his head.
Family friendly.
There we go. Get you back in it. Kind of sat really far apart.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. So, alright. Yeah. Back to what we were actually going to talk about after that little diversion. How did we even get onto shoes from what we were talking about?
Who knows? Let's just run with it.
Oh, it was. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Run with it.
Yeah. So, what do you want to talk about first? Abandoned buildings or End Cave?
End Cave. End Cave or End Cave? As in Emily's cave.
Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, that's dodgy. So basically,
oh yes, it is.
Yeah. There's this thing that this guy called Kenny Veach. He was he quit quite a high up job. I can't remember quite what. Quit quite a high up job to start inventing things, and that becomes quite important later on. But he was also he liked to go out into the woodlands, and when it was Arizona, I think. I can't remember. Nevada, that's right. And he used to go out in the Sheep Mountains, they were called. It's just an area of Nevada in America. And he had been out, and he left a comment on a video. Do I have the original comment? Something along the lines of...
That is the sound of real paper printed with real ink because we're dirty, filthy environmentalists. Wait, hang on.
But yeah...
Death to trees. They steal our carbon dioxide. We need that for beer.
That's a fair point, actually. That's something we could talk about in a later episode. No.
Even though it's currently relevant now.
Yeah, well, we're never going to be fully with the point.
Fully with the
point, yeah, exactly.
Okay, right, so dudes in mountains in Nevada.
Yeah, and he used to go, and he said he didn't take, he didn't take a compass, which instantly is a bit odd. He didn't...
Well, I've been outside without a compass.
Yeah, but in a
mountain
range, yeah. I don't think he even took a map, that's the thing.
Yeah, okay.
And he used to go out quite... So, I mean, he knew his way around, but he wasn't... If you got into trouble, I suspect he would be in trouble. So he went out one time, and he left a comment on a video saying that he'd found this cave, and it was in the shape of an M, and he felt his entire body was vibrating, and he didn't like it. said that he turned around and left almost immediately, and that he would try and find it and do a video in it. And it's several months later that he he stayed true to his word, and he went out to find this cave, and he said he'd take a weapon with him, so he took his weapon with him. And in the video, he found a little mine shaft, and that was about all he could find, and a tortoise, whatever they are, tortoise. So he said he came back, and he hadn't found anyone. Oh, that's right. Here's the original note he wrote on a YouTube comment. I'm a long distance hiker. One time during one of my hikes.
Wait, what video was this on then?
I assume just one of the area or a hiking video or something. Yeah, he said out by Nellis Air Force Base in Nevada. I found a hidden cave. The entrance to the cave was shaped like a perfect capital M. I always enter every cave I find, but as I began to enter this particular cave, my whole body began to vibrate. The closer I got to the cave entrance, the worse the vibrating it became. Suddenly I became very scared and hightailed it out of there. That was once, he presumably meant one of the strangest things that ever happened to me. So yeah, he said he'd take a camera back and his gun. Yeah, so he then returned about a month or so later. He was 47 as well. So he returned after this video that he made of where he found absolutely nothing, and then from then on nothing was heard of him. He just disappeared. So rescuers, after a couple of days, rescuers were sent out, and of course such a massive area he could have gone anywhere. They found his cell phone, and he didn't like to take GPS, so somebody had pointed that out, but obviously because he didn't like to take GPS, they didn't have one. That leads us on to conspiracies or theories of why he did it. From what I've told you, what do you think?
What do I think of why he did it?
Yeah, why or how he disappeared, knowing that there was this strange cave, that something, and there's been theories that the governments or whatever are using, and already have used, stuff that makes you uncomfortable. Makes you feel uncomfortable. But this something to do with sound. It vibrates your body, and so you make you feel uncomfortable. So hence why it would get out there. So knowing that, what do you say?
Yeah, they might have done, or he might just have been. How am I supposed to know? He might just have been. We didn't have a compass or any of that, so he might just have got lost and been low on water and food and started hallucinating or feeling phantom stuff, or he might have been the victim of an elaborate scam by the US Air Force.
Yeah. Well, according to his girlfriend, I think his girlfriend, apparently he took just a bottle of water and a granola bar type thing. And
wait, so he was lost for 2 days before they were like, oh well, we better go and find him.
It might have been less, but I think it was 2 days. And the rescuers found this cell phone. So then there was this thing that thought that the government, that explains the initial feeling of vibration. There were other things, such as he just succumbed to the desert. I mean, it's hot out there. You have lack of water, little water, no food, and you wander off the path and you suddenly become disorientated. Then you're pretty much screwed. And there are other ones, such as that the government, he witnessed something that the government didn't want to see in this M cave, M-shaped cave, and that they then abducted him and either have him still, or because this was November the 10th.
I think we would have known if it was like a restricted area, such like if you take Area 51, you very obviously know that you're there and that you're going to get killed if you go past a certain point. They're not like, oh, and suddenly boom, you're doing something illegal and you don't know about it. They're like, do make it so that you
have to really try.
Yeah, and Yeah, so I doubt that he would have seen something accidentally.
No, well, this was Monday the 10th November 2014. So, I mean, it wasn't that long ago. But yeah, so then there was...
Depends when people were listening.
Yeah, that's a good point. It could be 400 years from now.
Yeah.
If you're from the future, 400 years, could you PayPal me some money? Because no doubt you have time travel in the future.
Yeah.
His girlfriend then sort of came into the picture, and she wrote a YouTube comment on a video. I think it was either the same video that his initial video on trying to find this cave, or whether it was someone else's. I think it was on his video. And she says, I didn't realise until today that there were comments on this hiking video. I am Kenny's girlfriend that he mentioned in the video. Oh, and that's the other thing. When you sort of track her down, there are pictures of her and Kenny together. So
when you track her down, that sounds a bit...
Alright. When you find her social media accounts and things, so it's legit. That you mentioned in the video.
On social media is legit.
Yeah, everything on the internet, instantly have to believe. So we went out on many wonderful hikes together out in Nevada desert. Many of our hikes were 8 or 9 years, 8 or 9 years long, 8 or 9 hours long, and we always took beautiful pictures. Kenny left for an overnight hike in the same area on Monday, November the 10th. Today is December the 10th. He did not return, and he was supposed to, and I called missing persons. They have been searching for him and have not found him. I did not want to leave his wonderful video and this site hanging and having you wonder why he has not responded. Thank you for the suggestion. This is replying to someone, so thank you for the suggestion of GPS. I talked with him before about using GPS for safety reasons. He just never seemed to want to use one. He loved just being out in the desert and finding his own way. I am aching with missing his physical presence. Please encourage all the solo hikers you know to use a GPS. So
what, a tracker?
Yeah, essentially, or some means of
so
GPS.
that should anything happen, they can
Find you.
be tracked down. Yeah. Me is strictly necessary.
Well,
surely, if he bought adequate supplies, he could have survived himself.
This is the next theory, that he didn't want to be found and that he either start a new life or he just wanted to end it, basically.
See, I'd go with that one.
Yeah, because his inventions weren't all too popular. In the sense that they weren't taking off as he envisaged, and the fact that he left his mobile phone just on the ground,
or it was taken from him.
Dum dum dum. But yeah, that seems him. If he knew enough of the local area, I'm sure he could find a cave or somewhere, even one of the old mine shafts, where he wouldn't be found, and that he wanted to just die, basically, commit suicide, which is very sad if that's the case, that he felt the need to do that, because no one should have to go through that, particularly not finding the body to give closure to his girlfriend. That would be the worst part for me if I was the girlfriend. Or, on a more positive note, I suppose, he wanted to start a new life, which would be perfect, because if he could escape that way, all he would need to do is sort of divert a little bit of money, or have enough money somewhere else that he could buy a car and park it somewhere, walk to it and jump in it and then escape, essentially. It would be ideal for him, which, out of all of the things, I hope that that's the case, because then at least he's still alive. I just kind of wish it was that his girlfriend wasn't sort of left, hanging, basically, and without the knowledge of where he is. So, what do you think?
I am definitely, from what I've heard, would be a proponent of the he didn't want to be found theory. He would have known the existence of GPS trackers and that sort of thing, and from what they're saying, he was a very experienced hiker, knew the area well. So yeah, that's what I would go for. Whether or not it was from a suicide point of view or a new life kind of view, that's anyone's guess, and either way, one doubts that his body will be found.
Yeah, well, it might be found, but let's hope it's at the end of his life naturally, you know, in the sense that he's still alive now.
If he, like, melted to death in the Nevadan desert, I think that would be natural.
Yeah, no. No, but let's hope he didn't die out there and that he's still living.
He's living with his mistress in a flat in
Leeds.
Leeds, yeah.
Yeah.
He's left the country and is in Leeds.
Yeah. Didn't Mike do that? Left the country and wherever he's from, Venezuela or wherever he is, came and stayed in a...
Mike from Venezuela.
Mike from Venezuela. That's going to change so often now. Mike, did you do that? You went and stayed in a flat with a woman from Leeds?
Are you saying we smuggled him back when I went to Leeds?
Yeah. His
When I
wife...
say smuggled, I mean I got a public service train, so, you know, he could have
suitcase.
easily just bought a ticket and no one would have cared.
Oh dear. Yeah, no. But...
So mine is mainly an interview. It's tape measure tally.
Why do you have a tape measure?
To measure stuff.
Okay.
Do you want to do you want to know what this is? Do you want to
That's a
describe
power
what it is?
It's-
Get a feel for it.
So it's this is suddenly turned into a tech review of the Juice Squash Extra Large Power Bank. Please sponsor us if you're listening to this.
This was not a solicited message
I was
by
gonna
Juice
say.
Squad Limited. By
It's-
them. Actually, it works quite well. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's
got a nice feel.
charges quickly. It
Yeah, it's not a small.
has quite a big capacity.
Yeah, it's
easy.
quite small.
Just flicked it in his eye.
Yeah.
It can be used as a weapon.
Yeah.
So you know, does it? Whoop-ha! Wait, is that a good thing?
I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, we would recommend because I've used it once. It's good. It doesn't its power doesn't go down even though you've only got 1 bar of power in there.
Yeah, I have used it yesterday. Right, anything else you want to review? Back to the topic at hand, Cicadia 3301 is a similar sort of one of those unexplained things that the internet finds out about. It is more of a... It was left on... Yeah, it was a organisation set a selection of puzzles.
Yeah.
Starting in 2012 for the first one,
Yeah.
running for around a month, and then later in 2013, and there was 3 in total, I think, of which the third one wasn't. There were 3 rounds, of which the third one was never solved.
Yeah. Well, that's debatable. If you want smoke, but we'll get to that. Keep explaining.
What? Keep
Yeah.
it sliding.
Keep explaining. I'm just
Keep
awful
it
at English.
sliding.
Keep it sliding.
Yeah. The puzzles were very hard. The first level was a code hidden within a .onion website, so one on the deep web, which gave GPS coordinates to various worldwide locations, which none of them were in the UK. There were several in America. There was one in the first one in Paris, and there were a couple sort of. I think there was one in Russia. That sort of direction, sort of Eastern Europe way, and then the rest were sort of the other side, like Australia and China. And yeah, some clever people solved them. However, that was really poorly explained. But
not worse than my one.
and the purpose of why they were set, or what happens when you're set, it's never really been found. Some of the people who did solve the puzzles have said what that they were invited to a sort of meeting thing on the dark web, whereby there were more puzzles, but the actual people who set the puzzles never come forward. Its general idea is that they were probably a group of people due to the wide location, but in reality, you know, all the locations were very near airports, so you know, A could have been set by some weird pilot dude.
I mean, trust you to bring it back to planes.
So I guess the real question
Compilation of
about
weird
this mystery is who was the people who set it. But what I think is more intriguing is how the humans, especially on the internet, latch on to this sort of thing and come up with all kinds of theories, some of them outlandish, some of them not so outlandish. you touched on that more with your one, about all the theories of what happened to this geezer in your M cave thing. And yeah, I find it quite interesting about how people do latch on to sort of the unknown and try and explain it, and when in reality they have no evidence to back that up. They sort of, there's a phrase in psychology called confirmation bias, where they all focus on one piece of evidence that confirms their theory, regardless on like the 80 that don't.
Yeah.
Like the airport thing. Yeah. They'll be like, oh, it was an individual because they were all near airports, even though why how could it, or unlikely that, not unlikely that there's still going to be very complicated for a single person to set that.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong.
So what am I correcting if you're wrong? We just had a lunch break.
Yeah,
so
very tasty lunch.
What was
right.
wrong?
Cicadia, 13974. I can't fucking remember.
3301.
Yeah, 3301. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that at the end, after the third thing was solved, there was sort of some people said they'd solved it, and the thing just stopped. And I think eventually it led to something saying the project has ended. If we need more people, we'll set new challenges. So that it's not quite that, but it's something along those lines. And that sort of led me to believe that it was some agency that needed hackers that were relatively smart, or at least smart enough to get through to do these challenges. And if they needed more, then they would find more of these and set more challenges. Who knows, there might even be challenges out there now that are either waiting to be discovered or are discovered but are kept quiet solely because they don't want people to find stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of theories about, it could have been a puzzle set by the likes of the NSA, CIA, or MI6, or white hacker group, like a non-governmental one. No, it's white hacking is hacking for ethical purposes.
Oh, I see.
So like hacking ISIS or something like that.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm going to say it's not the CIA, because as far as I'm aware, the CIA don't have the jurisdiction to act on US soil, and some of stuff that was done was in the US. So I doubt it was
I don't know, because
well, it's not an operational thing, is it? So I guess they could have done. They're going to have their recruitment and that in America.
Yeah, because that film American Made, that was set in America. Did you watch that? Tom Cruise.
No, I didn't. No.
Oh, yeah, I'd recommend you watch it. Based on a true story, the guy is recruited by, I think it's the CIA, to go and take photos for them of various different places, and then he sort of ends up having his sort of base, his main airport in America. So they're working in America. So
yeah, so they're not supposed to, but
they probably do.
They do. No, likewise, I think it's likely it might be MI6, because obviously they specialise in Britain's overseas affairs, and none of the stuff was in, none of them were in Britain. So it might be MI6. Seems like something they do, because no one has any idea what they do, because it's MI6 and they're just like fuck existing and that sort of thing, Why exist when you can just have a shiny building in Vauxhall? And
is that the one on the Thames?
Yeah, my uncle works opposite there.
Nice.
Doing something completely separate from.
That's what he tells you. He might be a secret spy spying on the spies. Yeah. Person that we were talking to, who'd been a civil servant, said that because we have a woman that works, she's a psychological, I don't know what she is, but apparently she works for MI6 or whatever it is, down the road from us, and we were talking to, because she was having this big party, and we were talking to someone about it, and they'd been working in the civil service, and they said, anyone that says they work in MI5 probably don't. They probably just they probably do, but they're just like a secretary or something. All the people that work like properly undercover and whatnot. They're just civil servants. And it's like, that's a good point, actually.
Yeah, so my uncle working opposite in his cover-up job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's actually just a... He said surgeon for some reason.
We're joking about this, but what if he is?
We've just uncovered him.
Yeah.
Right, Joe, it's nice knowing you. We'll probably be murdered before too long. I'm arming myself with a corkscrew. Well, let's hope my assailant is nice and slow. There we go.
So that concludes our discussion about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so internet, weird place. I also wanted to draw on the... I always get them confused. The dark web. Because so in your actual basic internet, you've got your surface web,
which is like Google and Bing and
stuff accessible by a traditional browser, such as www.joefothergill.com.
Ooh, that's not what that head noise was. It's kind of a mix of mixed with a laugh, come down from a laugh.
That sort of thing, anyway. And yeah, so that's your surface web. You've then got your deep web, which, as far as I know, is would be something like just data such as public records or like account information, various things that aren't accessible. But you don't need to access them. They are accessible, but they're not accessible through Google or Bing or something like that. You've got the dark web, which is
a hellhole, basically.
Accessible through special browsers such as Tor, and there's another one that I can't remember, and there's more than two, which you can use to browse the surface web. You can also use them on the deep web to visit what's known as .onion websites. It's called .onion because it's like layered. It's the surface, and then you've got your dark and deep web under, which was created by the US government, very interestingly, for surveillance purposes. And apparently stuff on .onion websites is generally quite disturbing, quite often. Or not necessarily disturbing, but everything from
drugs.
Well,
relatively tame stuff such
like
as drugs
to people getting murdered, and porn and that sort of thing. Like
weird porn, not just
not
porn.
Like,
weird porn.
Yeah, weird porn. Not that I use the dark web.
I want to go on the dark web just to see how deep you go before you get in, because I'm sure it's much similar to when you get, like, you go on an article to read something and then there's all those little things that are like, oh, that looks interesting, and it just takes you to some random bullshit like that. I reckon it's probably that. I want to go on.
So you reckon it's like clickbait?
Essentially. Well, no, I reckon there's like the first layer, which is just like how to get drugs, and then the next layer down it's like something slightly worse, and then as you go down,
you start with eBay for drugs, and then you end up at eBay for hitmen.
Yeah. See, I there are all these stories of like, oh, people have their like webcam suddenly turns on, and then somebody talks to them through it.
See, I don't have a webcam.
Exactly. And I want to do it. I want to try it, but at the same time, exactly. I think that the dark web, the dark web is a weird, semi-dangerous place, but I still want to go on it.
There's something alluring about it.
Yeah, I think it's the utter risk that you take with it.
And obviously, why this stuff is on there is because it's anonymous, and even though they have managed to shut down certain websites that are selling drugs and that sort of thing, but generally it's anonymous, and people are like, oh, but why do they let people on there? Why don't they just have it as secure? Then it goes back to, as I was saying, it was created by the US government for surveillance purposes. But if it's just them on there, then it's going to be oh look, this dude's from the dark web. He's definitely CIA, as opposed to now where he might just be some random nut job. And you sort of hope that he is the CIA. You know.
No, I think that some of these stories that you hear from the dark web are a little bit dodgy. As in, are they real? You know, but I think that there are a lot of people with ill intentions.
Some even on YouTube comments, you just see some of the hateful stuff people write, and I would not be surprised if, you know, there were people who enjoyed. If there's an accident on the other side of a motorway, then people, you know, will stop and tell, oh, the police are over there, oh, what's happening? And, you know, in some cases it can be quite nasty, and people are dead or, you know, severely injured. But to enjoy that to such a degree that you go into the depth of the internet, these people do enjoy it too much. It's more of an obsession, and a very dark and a very dodgy obsession, and an obsession that I don't want to hear about. So
No.
if you are obsessed with that sort of thing, please seek help and don't email me.
No, well, that's the thing. There isn't much help, is there?
No, I mean,
you can't go to your doctor and be like, "Yo, help me for this thing that is thoroughly illegal or just plain weird." There's such a stigma around it that, and then
there should rightfully be a stigma around
yeah, there
it, I
should.
think.
But
It's kind of like saying there's a stigma around ISIS. It's like, yes, because no one likes a bunch of murdering people who go around killing people. Shall we move on to some lighter stuff? There's a football game on at the moment. Obviously, you're not watching the current football game.
I wouldn't be watching anyone.
If you're living in Sweden or Switzerland, you probably are.
I see. Is it between?
It's
them two?
between Sweden and Switzerland at the moment. But
I
for
see.
us English people, yes, for us British people, especially in the most populous country of Britain, there's quite an important match on. Later on, will you be watching that?
Who is it?
It's the 2018 World Cup over in Russia. England are taking on the might that is Colombia.
No, I'm not going to be watching it.
Oh.
I dislike football. I like playing football. This is something I don't get. There are plenty of people that would play football, but there are plenty of people that would much rather watch a football game than go and play a football game. I don't mind playing football. I quite enjoy it, just having a kick about with some mates.
Would you rather be playing football now?
No.
Would you rather be playing cricket? It's got a cricket bat right there.
Mike, I have to take your cricket bat off you for a second. You can have it back into the wonderful game that is cricket ball.
Cricket ball.
Yeah, cricket ball. Woo! No, cricket. It's I almost prefer stall ball and things. I like rounders. Cricket is good fun at the same time, but there's so many. It's rules. I don't get rules in games in general because there are just so many of them.
I think that's what the general global appeal of football is. It's literally there's a ball, there's an easily defined goal, whether it be a proper literal goal or whether it be a couple of jumpers tossed on the floor, and then you spend like 10 minutes going, no, your one's wider than ours.
Yeah, I have to admit, I like sport for the fact that it brings people together. There's this sort of natural, if you're like when my cousin went away recently, the England match was on, and they were in Crete, I think. And Crete, is it Crete?
They were in Greece, the island of Crete, which is part of Greece.
Right, but they were.
But when, like, you know,
last week or the week before. It was
so it was the current tournament.
Yeah, current 2018 stuff. I
thought you were just recalling back to when England were playing.
But yeah, there was this sort of everyone came together in a little bar place, and they all watched it together, and everyone was like, "Whoa!" when the goals, and when there weren't any goals, and you know. But
I was watching the Russia v whoever Russia beat on penalties match.
Yeah, you use Firefox?
I do. I use Chrome on my phone because the Firefox app is annoying. The Chrome app's annoying. If anyone from Google is listening, please get rid of those news cards, or at least let us turn them off, because I'm very close to moving to a third browser. Anyway, who was the league playing? 3,000 Cup. Spain. They won on penalties. Each time Spain took a shot and it failed to score, there'd be just a massive cheer from the Russians, and it was quite funny.
Yeah, that's another thing. I don't get people that go on really hot holidays. Well, no. Actually, hang on. It's just because I was thinking about my cousin going away.
I think we've all seen your story where you take the photo of that like digital temperature thing. You're like, it's 32 degrees. It's like
34.4 the other day. For a person that has a lot of natural insulation, that feels like 90. It's just horrible.
Well,
but I don't get people that go on holiday to a foreign place and then stay in a resort for a week. Don't do anything.
Yes,
I get if you are going to a resort and there's a pool, so like out of let's say you're going for 5 days, 2 of those days you chill by the pool. I get that. That's like, yeah, but there's just like so much culture and things that you could be doing. I would find it far too boring.
Yeah, there's like when we went to Morocco, we went into the Atlas Mountains and did some stuff there, and that was far better than not just staying in the all-inclusive complex. Yeah, Morocco, great country. They're getting high-speed trains soon.
I know. I was wondering how long it would take for a train reference.
I think. Let me just go on the FCO website. I think it's Sharm El Sheikh. Oh look, there's a Boris Johnson with an elephant.
Which one's which? Both have equally good hairstyles.
Egypt. It's in Egypt. I think the top of the Sinai Peninsula.
Yeah.
Is red, which means the FCO advise against all travel there, and the rest of it is orange, which means which is advised against all but essential travel. And then there's a little tiny speck of green at the bottom where Sharm El Sheikh is, which is green. And so that means, just follow their general advice. And that to me strikes. Why would you go there? First of all, I mean, actually, you go there for diving. But if you're not a diver, why would you go there? Because you can't leave because it's all dodgy in the rest of that bit of Egypt. And B, Egypt is a country that has a lot of very good ancient history. And
sorry, I was just throwing him off his little tirade.
So the ancient Egyptians, you've got sort of the pyramids, the
pyramids, these stone pyramids.
What's the thing? The Sphinx?
Yeah. You've got the Nile.
You do have the Nile, yes. You've got all that sort of ancient history from ancient Greece.
Wait, Egypt was part of Greece?
Ancient Greece. From ancient Egypt.
Yeah. So it's not? What?
I don't think...
Greece wasn't in Egypt. No.
Greece was... No, they probably did at some point. I swear the Romans owned it as well. Ancient Greek Empire. But I'm just fucked at history here. Yeah, anyway, Egypt has a lot of history. It has a lot of history. It didn't go to Egypt. Egypt, for fuck's sake. Egypt has a lot of history, and most of it you're not going to see from Sharm El Sheikh. So don't go there. Go to the history bit, which is green on the FCO's website, the stuff along the banks of the Nile. Yeah, so I see your point.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was part of the Roman Empire.
Alright. Roman Empire, Netflix.
Oh no, they did own parts of it in the Greek Empire.
Yeah.
I think, if this map I use. Yes, they run the shores of parts of Egypt they had.
Yeah.
History, very interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, Tallie, are you ready for our little camping trip next week?
Yes, no, and everything in between. Camping is one of them things that if it rains it's horrible, if it's sunny, or if it's hot then it's horrible, if it's perfect it's perfect. But I think for the most part,
if it's perfect, it's perfect.
That's going to be the new quote.
The title of the episode, right there.
Yeah, if it's perfect, it's perfect. Yeah. No, I think it's going to be fun. What's going to be fun is the twins.
Oh yes.
One day we're going to have a podcast where we have the twins, because you out there don't know what the twins are like.
Mike knows them. Mike will tell you they're great. They're great, aren't they, Mike?
Yeah,
Mike agrees.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll have them on Monday. Is Warren coming?
Who knows?
He'll probably parachute in from his plane. Yeah. So, do you think that's nearly about it for the podcast?
Well, I asked you a question and you answered it with if it's perfect, it's perfect. So I don't really see what you can add to that. Yeah. So
do the ending.
We'll probably put stuff on the channel. I thought you were going to talk about abandoned buildings.
We can leave that for the next time.
No, because now you've built people's hopes up.
Oh no!
Yeah. Now they'll be expecting twins. What if we do the twins separately? Some of them might feel cheated. There will be no podcast with twins, or there may not be a podcast with twins. If that podcast is perfect, then it'll be
perfect.
Yeah. So give the people what they promised.
Now, what we'll do is in the next one.
No.
We will do the abandoned buildings in the next episode.
But we haven't even gone on that long.
We've gone on for almost an hour. Which
almost an hour.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we probably have. But
And to all our audiences out there, YouTube, I know that you can do a poll on YouTube, so we'll do that for the visual version. Visual version.
You can't even.
Just
dropped a knife on
near my foot, mate. You trying to decapitate?
That's why we don't have guns in the house.
Yeah, for our audio listeners, you
as
could
opposed
probably,
to our visual listeners.
Yeah, you could probably. Well, both of them. You can follow my Instagram. It's at Taliesinborn, TalieSinbourne. And for those who either can't do the poll, I don't know how you couldn't, or the audio listeners, tell me on my Instagram whether you want longer or shorter. Joe, do you want to shout your?
Yeah, of course there will be show notes with useful links.
That'll be down to Joe.
You literally do control. Oh shit, no, you don't.
And
yeah,
so
there will be show notes. So yeah, you won't miss stuff. Obviously, because it's just a binary option. Wait, what was the poll on? It's
yeah. So we'll probably, I don't know how long this one is. We can either start off straight with 1 hour long episodes, or do maybe half an hour.
So the poll will be less than an hour, or
an hour. Or then
an hour or more.
Well, I think you can do multiple choices.
Yeah, but then the first past the post voting system doesn't work, and that's a whole topic for another.
I think podcast. The poll will be. Ooh, this is a question. Which way? Are we having a
poll on what the poll's gonna be on?
No, a poll just on. Yeah. So if you enjoyed this podcast, we will make more.
Will we?
Well, if it's successful, yeah.
Define successful.
More than 3 likes.
I barely have 3 friends.
Oh, Joe, that's kind of sad.
I don't. I'm actually a very popular person. I don't have a big ego or anything like that.
Yeah, so we will
be more prepared next time.
Be more prepared next time, yeah. Than just me laughing at awful things. Yeah.
Bye and enjoy.
Yeah, enjoy the podcast.
I mean, I hope you didn't. Even
please come back.
The ending. Wait, do come
if you're
back,
on YouTube, like, subscribe. If you do so feel decapitated, leave a comment. Cheers. Bye.